Hi everyone, welcome back to our Hanna Karlzon page. This is from her lovely Daydreams book, and we are going to be doing this little group of beetles. I know some people aren't keen on bugs, but we're going to try and make them look really lovely and pretty and rather attractive, I hope. So I'm going to have a go at that. Let's just come in a little closer for you. I've got too much stuff on my desk. I just have to move my book. There we go. Right. Now I'm thinking this little guy down here, he looks a bit like a cute little ladybird. So I'm going to do a Ladybird Ladybug for this one, and then decide on the others in a bit. I tend to like to start with doing some darker and lighter shades of red to try and make it look the bug look a little more interesting. I'm just going to have a look at what, oops, that's my elbow, sorry, what reds I've got here and just select a few. Okay, I'm going to start with my lightest. This is the Pale Geranium Lake, and I should just do a layer all over this part. I don't want to get it on the spots if I can help it. Well, it doesn't matter, they're going to be black, but I'm going to do them afterwards. So I'm going to try and avoid them if I can, but I'm not going to worry too much if I go over them. It's not going to make a huge difference. It's just doing a light layer to start with. Now, I think our bug, to make her or him look a little shiny, we need to go sort of have some darker areas and some lighter areas. This is the middle cadmium red, and what I actually find easiest to do, you could come in a bit closer, couldn't we, is to make it lighter around the edge and shinier in the middle. For me, that's just a simpler way of doing it, and so I'm going to put a darker layer along here and then fade that a bit. Okay, so I'm going over and over here, building up the layers and then fading it out towards the centre of the bug. I'm going to do that all the way around. It's a really simple technique, but it can be quite effective. I may use some black as well to get a really intense colour like we did with our gemstones on our key. We'll see. Yeah, if you've missed any of the other videos, you can find them on my channel. I probably might do a playlist for this page. This one is the deep red, okay, and I'm going to just go over that dark red and try and fade it more into the Pale Geranium Lake. Yes, so that you can go back and watch any that you have missed. What I will do is put together a compilation video, which will hopefully have already gone up for those of you who are channel members. I'm going to go back in with I'm going to use the black just to get a dark edge first. Just a really light touch, like that, all the way around. We're going to be revisiting that black in a bit to do our spots, but we'll just concentrate on our red first. Yeah, what I try and do for my members is to give you a compilation video of a series. This is Middle Cadmium Red in advance, or I tend to release it on the day the series starts. I do that because otherwise my non-members get confused and think you're getting something that they're not, which you sort of are and you sort of aren't. They'll get all the series eventually, and I don't want them to get confused and cross. So the members will get will have the whole page already, and the non-members will just have to wait until they come out on a daily basis. We're back to our deep red, and I think that's fair. Nobody misses out. I'm also been making today actually, and I'm sure I'll do more of it, some extra compilation videos for members. And now the Pale Geranium Lake. Oops, there you go. And what I've been doing is finding older videos and making compilations out of them, older series that I've done. It makes it a little bit easier for you to find all the relevant videos. They're not always in a playlist, and it just gives you a little perk. It takes me a little bit of time, but I don't mind doing that because you're obviously, as members, you're paying. So I need to give you some value for money. Now for the black, it's not very neat what I've done, so I'm just trying to tidy it up a bit. I think it was quite an effective idea. It really does look like he is quite rounded in 3 dimensions, which is great. Now I've got my spots to do, and I want to keep on with that rounded illusion, and if I just do my spots all one colour, it might not work. So I'm going to put a light layer of the black on each one. We'll worry about the legs and the head in a bit. And then think about where they're positioned on the body and how many more layers we might want. So for example, this one is right near the edge, so I want a really dark layer of black here. But I can fade it slightly like that. And same here, look, I want a darker layer here and just slightly fade it up a little bit. These edge ones are all the same. Yes, so yeah, I try and sort of thank my members, and I do really appreciate you all, members and non-members, but just by giving them a little bit extra. But nobody has to miss out, because that wouldn't feel right for me. Let me see. I think that's okay. I'm looking in the camera to see how it looks. Now we've got this bit here. I've got no clue what that is, but to me it looks like it might be stick out a bit, so I'm going to make it a little bit darker along here, maybe a little, not quite so dark along there, and then make it lighter in the middle. So just fade out my black like that. If you want it to look flat and you think it looks odd like that, just colour it all the same hardness of pencil. But I'm okay with that. Now legs. I'm going to try and do these little bits a bit darker near the body, but I think I just put them quite dark. And this bit, and this bit. Now I'm going to try and fade a bit down the leg. So where the joint is, make it darker, and then a bit lighter towards the tip. Excuse me, like that. It's a little tricky with such a small area, but we can do it. There we go. Now the face, I want the eyes to look really black, so I'm going to layer that up. If you've got a softer pencil, a harder pencil, and you can't get it really black, you could use some pen. I'm going to make the face look a little bit. It's got a bit of white in the middle, just the tiniest bit, like that. Now you could, I'm going to use a white pen later to add some highlights, but not now because we've got these other bugs to do, and if I put some white pen here, I'll rub my hand all over it because I know what I'm like. Now this little chap here looks a bit like a grasshopper to me, although I don't, he isn't because the legs are all wrong, but I decided I want to do him in green. Now I quite like these sort of olive green colours for a grasshopper, so that's what I'm going to do. I don't know why, it's just my idea. I'm going to start, this will probably be my darkest, which is the Chromium Green Opaque. And I shall, like with our Ladybird, which we can't see anymore, I shall go around the edge with this one, making a darker area. I'm just going to go all the way around with the dark line. We didn't do this with our Ladybird, we started with our paler colour, and then I'm going to just go back along and do a lighter line. like that. Okay, and then, whoops, I'm going to grab my earth green yellowish and extend that colour inwards. I'm not going to go all the way in. I'm going to use one more colour. I may go around the edge in a black as well to get that contrast like we did with our ladybird. I should just keep persevering with this for a minute. Now I'm going to go in with a light yellow glaze. Oh, there you go, in the middle. Like that. Right, now I am going to use a bit of black around the edge, just a tad. I don't want too much. I want less than with the ladybird. Just going around with the smallest bit, and then we're going to go back in with our oh, with our chromium green opaque. It's very slippery. It's not really. I'm just a butterfingers. I don't know if you have that phrase everywhere, butterfingers. It sort of makes sense, doesn't it? If you've got greasy hands, you're going to drop things. But you apply it to dropping anything. Now back to our earth green yellowish. I'm going to take that a little bit more, into the yellow in the middle. Just to get it all blended together. I think it's quite fun. Now I decided that to do the legs not black on this one. I'm thinking I'll use our greens. So I haven't decided about the spots yet, but we'll just see in a minute. Chromium green opaque, so I'm going to use that for all the legs. Starting darker nearer the body and then trying to fade in the same way we did with our black. So layer it up there and then less here. It's quite long legs, isn't he? Maybe he is a grasshopper. It's funny, I'm quite deaf now. I can't hear grasshoppers, crickets, things like that. When I go for a walk, my kids will go, "It's deafening, Mum. Can you hear all the crickets?" No, I can hear one, maybe. I think there is some. No, I want this bit to be a bit darker. So I'm going to put quite a few layers down and then use my black to just go in there. Like that. But this higher bit, this bit I think is a bit higher, so I'm just going to use this colour on the edges, and then use the earth green yellowish on it as well, just to bring the colour in towards the middle. Yeah, so I can't hear them, but I'm not convinced that I can get much help with that. I'm going to do the eyes in black right now, just while I think of it. Because obviously if you have a hearing aid, chromium green opaque, it just increases the volume, and I don't think I'll ever be able to hear them. I think I've lost that sort of ability to hear that sort of high noise. I'm going to do the tips of the antenna in the earth green yellowish. I don't know why, I just think it'd be different. There we go. Now we need to do these spots. I'm thinking a sort of bronzy colour would be nice. I'm not actually going to use the coppery bronze, I'm going to use a brown. I know the colour I want from Prismas, but we don't have that. I'm going to use a burnt ochre. And around the edge, and it's going to be hard. I'm not going to fade it too much towards the middle because we've got another circle in there. It'll look a bit odd. I think I'll maybe go around the edge with something a little bit darker. Maybe this burnt sienna might work. It looks looks a little bit orangey. It's not really showing up. There we go. I'm going to leave them there. I think that's quite cute. Okay, so there's our ladybird and our grasshopper. We've got this beetle-y chappy to do. Now what colour should we do him? I'm thinking we could go for, I've got a little mark on my page here. I'm just going to try and erase gently, if I can find my eraser. Here it is. I don't want to go for red. We've got red. I'm thinking, what about purple? Should we do purple? I think that'd be fun. Yeah, let's start with our mauve. This is my darkest purple. I'll probably put some black on like I did before. We'll start with the mauve and just go around the edge. I don't know if you can get a purple bug, but I just thought it'd be good. I bet you can't. No, never mind. So I'm going to start to fade my mauve as I go in towards the middle. Like all that. See, I'm doing a round and round movement, just putting down a light layer. It's not perfect yet, but it'll never be perfect, but we'll get there. And I'm going to use the Manganese Violet because I like it. And I think it will add a nice pinky tone into our mauve. I'm going to try and fade that too, like that. And then in the centre, I think the light magenta. Like that. Okay, we're going to go through all that process again. We're going to start with the black though, and go around the edge. Black's quite effective here. Try not to. The good thing with polys is they don't really smudge, so I've got my hand over the top of the Ladybird black and I'm not worried it's going to smudge anywhere. Now this bit I want to be darker purple, so I'm going to add a little layer of black, and particularly on the edges. And when I put my mauve on top, which I'm just going to sharpen, it will look quite dark, which is good news. Okay, here's our mauve, coming back onto this body, going back over those areas that we've done. Like that, and go over this bit. So I'm going over the top of all the black. It is looking quite dark, but I think it's fine. I'm going to sharpen my Manganese Violet as well. I can never spell manganese. I know how to spell it, but whenever I put it in the description, because I list all the pencils I use in my descriptions for you, I don't know if all of you have discovered that, I always seem to miss out the N, and I don't know why. I know how to spell it. Light magenta. I don't know how to spell all words, but I know how to spell that one. I often spell phthalo wrong as well. The Castle Arts phthalo is spelled differently to the Polychromos, and so I tend to, I'm just going all round with this, I tend to spell it, my spell checker tells me Castle Arts spell it wrong, but I try and spell it their way. I want to leave it fairly pale in the middle. I think it's effective. I'd do with an evenish pale bit though. There we go, that'll do, is okay. Now we'll do the legs. Now I'm thinking could do them black, but I think I'll do them mauve. Got my little mauve here. The spaces on these legs are so small. I am going to try and fade it as I go away from the joints and away from the body, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that very effectively in such a teeny space. I want to make sure I cover all of the white. Do you think if bugs were this pretty, you'd like them more? Oh, I had an incident last night with a bug. My husband was sitting on the bed. The children were still up. We were all prepping for bed. We all tend to go at a similar time. And he suddenly leapt off the bed. I was like, what's that? It's a spider. And it was about so big. And I looked at it and I said, I think it's dead. It was so still. He was like, you need to get rid of it. He's frightened. And I said, okay. I said, bring me a piece of a piece of glue roll and I'll do it. I'm going to do the eyes now in black. And so he threw it at me and it went on top of the spider and the spider didn't move. And I was like, oh, I'll scoop him up, he must be dead. So I touched a piece of paper and the spider ran out from underneath ever so fast. Manganese violet. I may not end the story because spider lovers might be cross, but basically if I didn't get rid of it my husband wouldn't have slept. So let's just say I dealt with the spider and leave it that. I'm going to do this in a similar way to the one on the ladybird where it looks sort of like it's rounded. I really don't know how that's supposed to look, but I'm doing it in the manganese violet, so it just looks a bit different, and I'm going to do the face in the mauve. Now this little beetle's got these little what do you call them? I don't know. I think I might do those in, could do them in pink, it would look really friendly, but I think we'll just do them in this colour because I think they wouldn't be pink. It's like a stag beetle, isn't it? They're much bigger than a stag beetle though, aren't they? Right, there are all of our beetles done. Let's just zoom out for you. Now you could just leave them like that, or you could use the white pen to draw on some shine, and to be honest I think I might completely spoil them if I do that, and I'm really tempted to just leave them. I really like how they look. Now we haven't put any glitter on our bugs either. We put glitter on everything else on the page, but again I'm really not feeling it. I want them plain. So if you feel like you want some glitter, you could add some. I would suggest out of the ones that I've got, that putting a few dashes of gold on these spots would look good, a few dashes of black on these spots would look good, and then maybe some of the diamond, the black diamond on those spots, and then maybe some of the diamond on the back of this one. But I don't want to do it. I'm really happy with how they look, and I just feel that any fiddling might spoil them. So I'm absolutely just going to leave them as they are. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you had as much fun as me. Enjoy your day. Please click like if you can, if you like the video. It always helps. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day and happy colouring.